It was a busy weekend in the Big Ten, and with March right around the corner, we're going to break some Big Ten hoops by comparing resumes and what teams need to do over the last few games of the regular season entering Big Ten tournament. I'm Vaughn Dalzell alongside Robbie Hummel. Let's dive in, compare two Big Ten schools, Robbie. I'm going to give you two blind resumes to start here. You're going to tell me who's the more deserving school for the higher
Okay.
seed. But first, I need to ask you, are you a good news or bad news type of guy?
Good news. I'm a good news kind of guy.
Good news. We'll start with the good news first then. All right, team one in the blind resume is 20-8 overall with a 10-7 conference record. In quad one, they are 4-8, or 4-6, excuse me. In quad two, they are 3-2. Now, while they're ranked 34th in Ken Palm, top 50 in both offensive and defensive efficiency, this team is only 3-7 in road and neutral court games and rebound at 250th or worse, Robbie. Now, any guess who team one is? Because they do knock down free throws and shoot threes well.
Can I say that one more time? I know who team 2 is. I'm 20-8, 4-6 in quad one. I'm gonna say team 1 is Wisconsin. And team 2 is Michigan
Wisconsin?
State.
Yeah, team two
Oh,
is Michigan State.
Nebraska.
Team
Oh
two,
man. Dang
yes.
it.
Nebraska being, yeah. So if you had to pick one of these two teams moving forward, because Michigan State, while they're ranked higher, they may have a better quad one record or slightly worse quad one record, better quad two record. These teams are similar in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be fascinating. Michigan State has been the hardest team to figure out, maybe ever, in the Big Ten this year. From day one, from losing to James Madison the first game of the season, they've now lost back-to-back home games against Iowa, and they dropped one to Ohio State in one of the crazier buzzer beaters of the year in the league. Boy, is the question is who can go further, or just who do I like better, or what? What are we asking here?
Who would have the higher seed here?
Oh, higher seed. I would assume that. Well, I would assume Michigan State, but it's starting to look like it could get pretty close. Michigan State's got some opportunities here. They've got a tough schedule to finish. I'll stay Michigan State for now, but that could change. That could change.
That could change over the last few games. Michigan State dropping a big game to Ohio State at home, a team that is climbing now, Robbie, who you said do not count them out last week. Now let's look at a Big Ten team and an ACC team. So the Big Ten team is 4-6 in quad one, 5-1 in quad two. They've been top 75 in both offensive and defensive efficiency. They shoot the three well, and they do not turn the ball over. But on the road, Robbie, 5-7 in neutral court and road games. Now, team four is an ACC squad that's 1-4 in quad one, 5-5 in quad two, ranked 19th in Ken Palm. They have a 10-6 conference record in top 50 offensive and defensive marks. Now, they hit the three ball and the free throws at 80%, second, three ball 37.7, 19th. Who would you rather have, team one from the Big Ten or team two from the ACC?
I'm gonna say. Can I see the rankings again one more time? Thank you.
Yes.
Boy, the
So
quad
quad
one
one,
wins is a little unnerving for team number 4. That's 1-4 in quad one versus 4-6 in quad one is a big difference.
yes.
I assume that team number 3 is Northwestern. I don't know who team 4 is. Maybe Wake Forest. All
You're
right.
right.
Yeah, let's go.
You're right.
Yeah, I Northwestern though. The concerning thing is that like the ceiling without Ty Berry, and I give Chris Collins a ton of credit because he has got those guys to battle, and they've won games post his season-ending injury. But I do worry kind of what their ceiling is because you lost so much firepower without Berry. I think they'll make the tournament, but that's certainly a question mark. And then Wake Forest got a big win and a big controversy this past weekend.
Yeah, they did for sure. When you look at what they've done at home, both teams are pretty similar at home. I mean, Wake Forest 15-0, Northwestern 14-1, dropped that one to Chicago State. But other than that, these teams both shoot well. They play fast and they don't turn the ball over too much on offense. So I would agree. I like both teams a lot to make a run. I might lean Wake Forest though, Robbie, just because of that big win over Duke was definitely impressive. But Duke did play 3 straight road games, so
Yep.
interesting. But I'll ask you this before we talk about the Tuesday games coming up in Big Ten play. How much do you believe the committee values close wins, and do you think it's also mandatory to win a game in conference tournament to make the NCAA tournament?
Are you talking about for just bubble teams?
Yeah, for a lot of these teams, we're talking about the Northwesterns, the Wake Forests, Michigan
Yeah,
States, Nebraskas.
I think in looking at Nebraska and Northwestern's schedule, if they handle business down the stretch, I don't think that it would be necessary for them to have to win a game in the conference tournament. Like Northwestern's 19-8, they're 10-6 in conference play. Nebraska's already gotten to 20 wins and 10 in league. Now, Nebraska finishes out. I think they have a pretty they're at Ohio State, they've got Rutgers at home, and they're at Michigan. Now, the problem would be, I guess, with Michigan that can be looked at as, even though it's away, it'd probably be quad 2, but not a killer loss, but one that you definitely want to get. Northwestern down the stretch, I think, is a little bit tougher. They've got Maryland away on Wednesday. They play Iowa at home, Iowa team that's surging, but certainly in the friendly confines of Evanston for the Cats. They go to Michigan State, which normally is a tough place to play. The last 2 games it has not been for Iowa and the Ohio State Buckeyes, and they got Minnesota at home. So certainly plenty of opportunity for both those teams, I think, to kind of close this out and put no doubt in the mind of the committee that they should be in the field of 68.
Yeah, you spoke on Iowa, and I'm going to go there for a second because they're the second game on the Peacock slate. They're hosting Penn State. Definitely seems like a must-win game. They're 2-8 in quad 1 games, so you can't drop a game like this to Penn State. But when you look at the remaining schedule with Penn State, Northwestern, Illinois down the stretch, is that a team that needs to win a game because they're likely going to drop that game to Illinois unless Illinois is safely in position of their Big Ten standing?
Yeah, I would think even if they were to win out, let's see, they're 16-12 right now. Let's say you beat Penn State, Northwestern, Illinois. That puts you at 19-12 and 11-9 in the league. It would give you 2 more quad 1 wins. You'd probably want to win. That's winning out. You'd probably still want to win a game in the Big Ten tournament to feel good about it. But I do commend Iowa for the way they're playing. They got a really young team. They've got a nice little young core of freshmen and sophomores that if Fran McCaffrey can keep them together, that there's a lot to build on there. They missed opportunity at Illinois. They had put themselves in position to win or have a chance to win that game, and it just kind of looked like they got tired. They needed more from Peyton Sanford and Owen Freeman into that game if they were going to get it done. Missed some open shots. Illinois pulled away. But the thing that you like about Iowa and their resume is, and even schedule going forward, is that you do have opportunity. You know, for any team on the bubble right now, all you want is games against good people. And Northwestern away is a quad 1 game, and Illinois at home is a quad 1 game. So 2 quad 1 opportunities, and then you look at the conference tournament. There's going to be some there as well.
Yeah, certainly not easy to outshoot Iowa, but Illinois was able to do that. So I know they have that final game circled there on their schedule. But a team that I quit on, I believed in, I quit on, and I believed in again, the Iowa Hawkeyes. Let's just see if they could beat Penn State, who's won 2 straight. Before we get out of here, the previous game before that is Wisconsin-Indiana. Certainly a must-win game for Wisconsin. Indiana, though, has lost 3 straight at home, 4 overall, Robbie. You look at Wisconsin down the stretch. Are these must-wins against Indiana, Illinois, Rutgers, and Purdue? What do you see happening for them?
Yeah, that's a tough, kind of a tough slate there at Assembly Hall, which
Yes.
traditionally is a tough place to play, but this year has not been nearly as challenging. The Illinois game at home is a massive one. Purdue away is massive. Rutgers is really struggling right now. But I'd like to see Wisconsin start playing better. You know, they eked out a win against Maryland. I didn't feel like they played great. I just want to start. I want to see these guys kind of get back some of the juju that we saw early in the season, because, you know, there was a stretch there in January where it was like they're ranked 6th in the country. They look like a team that can make the second weekend or even maybe make a run to the Final Four. And they've kind of lost that. Can they get that back? And you know what? They've like we said with other teams, opportunity is there. Illinois and Purdue, 2 massive games for the Badgers to close out the season.
Yeah, Wisconsin's now winners 2 of the last 3 games. So if they can get that win against Indiana and Illinois, that would certainly put them in good position to close out the rest of the season, Robbie. And it's going to be a great week in Big Ten play starting Tuesday on Peacock. So we hope everyone enjoys the week, and we'll see you next week.